We have to understand that different things that are done to us are tools in the toolbox.
Yes.
And if I'm working with an athlete that needs some good soft tissue work or manipulation here and there, because there are times where that is needed.
Yep.
Physical therapists do manipulations. People don't understand that.
Yeah.
There are PTs that specialize in doing manual treatment, like manipulations, in the same way a chiropractor would. But it's a tool in the toolbox. And not everyone has access to the right technicians. So I wanted a book that could be the first line of defense. Not the only line, because there's times where you need someone there that can help you walk through it. But there needs to be something that's the first step, because right now there's not enough first lines of defense for people to be educated and understand what things they can do to take the first steps to get out of pain and build back resiliency.
Well, education gives options.
Exactly.
And that's always what I'm interested in. There's a reason why on my bookshelf, I have your book, I have Kelly's, I have Stu, like I have Brian Carroll's. Like, of course I have these, because do I think any one of them is right? I think all of them are right.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of figuring out which one applies to the thing I currently have going on best.
Exactly.
And why wouldn't I want to have as much options instead of like, nope, ice.
Exactly.
Right? Like, this is the only tool in my box is ice or the hammer.
Yes.
Like, nah, man, that's not ideal.
Yeah. I mean, we need education. That's what it is. We want to create educated consumers. And we're talking about consumers in injury sake. We're talking about someone who's going to go to any one medical practitioner, be it a doctor, chiropractor, physical therapist, athletic trainer, a massage therapist. They're going to go to someone to help get out of pain. And we need someone to be educated so that they could even read this book and then go to a doctor and say, hey, what do you think's going on? Well, in this book, I read and did some of the tests, and I found out that maybe I was dealing with a flexion intolerance. What do you think about that? Do you think that's correct?
Right.
What do you think about
and
his
if they
take?
look at you with a blank stare, go find another doctor.
Exactly.
You're allowed to shop too. They work for you. That's another weird one that people really screw up with the medical profession, is that they act like I was issued this doctor and they're God.
Yeah.
When, dude, you're shopping just the same as anything else.
Very true.
And so you're trying to hire talent, who people who give a shit, people who care, people who are more informed.
Yep.
And so, man, having options to maintain your own machine is something you've got to do if you want to push.
Yeah.
And then having all the other stuff in there with modalities like needling and everything else that are other tools in the toolbox to keep the machine running.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's so cool that, I mean, you took and managed to boil down like probably a decade worth of actual school and education and continue at education that you're getting first person in a clinical setting. Cause a lot of guys now don't do clinical setting. So you're still getting a big influx of real humans.
Yeah. People don't realize, like, I still work 40 hours a week as a physical therapist.
You're not picking and choosing only to work with the best.
Squat University is not my full-time job.
Weird. One day,
maybe.
One day.
Yeah, we'll see.
And also, who knows if that's what you want? Like, there's nothing wrong that if you love the clinical setting, like, you don't have to make this that's the cool thing. You have options now.
Well, and the great thing is that because of how things have grown, like, I'm at SSM Physical Therapy right now in St. Louis. I'm not just seeing, like, every once in a while I get the general population somewhat off the street, but 95% of my caseload right now are people that are specifically coming to see me because of Squat University. So in essence, I am doing Squat University.
Like, sometimes you got to throw the beacon out there.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't put the beacon out, like I tell people that, like, I get offered, or not offered, but people who I think should write books want to, but then don't have any concept of like what step one is. And me always trying to say that, like, yeah, you should, you should try, because just start writing.